guys, it's Sunday,
Uh-huh.
and it's the All Effing Wrestling Show. You know what? I have a message for everyone here.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't easy being cheesy. What we got on the show today?
Cheetos. I'm kidding.
Now before you answer that,
Yeah.
do you like the poofy Cheetos or do you like the crunchy ones?
I like the crunchy ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Joe?
I'll take whatever is available. I am not picky.
All this and more on the All Effing Wrestling Show.
Hit it.
Tell me what's my age. Tell me what's my occupation. Tell me what's my race. Tell me is it with inflation. Tell me what's my age. Tell me what's my race. Tell me all my sexual distaste. Tell me what you need. Tell me how you feel. Tell me all your information.
We're clear for takeoff.
That's all systems go. We need that AFW logo up. Stat.
You're watching the AFW Network.
It's Sunday. And my name is the JFB. And you're in for a very unusual episode because it's not a traditional top 10 list or who's this and who's that. We're talking about surviving Thanksgiving and surviving Survivor Series. I am, of course, your JFB, James from Boston.
And I am your patron saint of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada effing Dry, also known as Todd McNasty. Doesn't that feel like it should be a hamburger? Would you like a Todd McNasty?
It sounds like you should be a goon. It really sounds like you should be on the
Would
fourth
you
line.
eat a Todd McNasty burger at McDonald's?
To be fair, Todd McNasty sort of reminds me of the old Big and Tasty that they used to have.
Yeah.
What was it called in Canada? The Big and Tasty. No, not McArch Deluxe. No, it was something. The Big Extra. That's what we called it in Canada.
It boggles my
remember
mind
the-
that there's such a difference in names between America and Canada for McDonald's.
Well, and then Team of Australia too. Like they got written.
You know it is. It's the metric system. That's why they call it in Canada Royale with cheese. Royale.
Or you go to Australia.
Look.
You go to Australia, and all of a sudden it's called Hungry Jack's instead of Burger King.
Yeah.
Real quick, why this? Have you ever heard the story of why America doesn't use the metric system?
Tell us.
So, when Thomas Jefferson was Secretary of State before he became president, he had heard about this metric system, and he had ordered a sample from France because that's where it was coming from. Well, it turns out because of British privateers who raided the ship, they never made it to America, so they said screw it and we did our own thing.
Is this a joke or is this
No, I'm dead serious.
Jeez,
British
yeah.
buccaneers, British privateers raided the ship.
Oh,
That had,
pirates, in other words.
yeah,
So,
pirates.
Once
Whatever
again,
word you want to use.
once
Basically,
again,
British
blame the
pirates-
British.
What was that?
I said once again, blame the British.
Oh, of course. That's how it goes.
Yeah, when in doubt, blame the queen. It's all her damn fault. She killed Princess Di. She's got blood on her hands.
Allegedly.
The Queen had anything to do with the metric system there, JFB.
Is that what I heard? I heard that the metric system is a gateway drug, if you will.
Gateway to what, JFB?
gateway to common sense.
We got this guy down below, over in that corner right there. You
That's
know, if you follow baseball, you know. And the ninth inning is up. You're up by 1 run. You need a shutdown closer. That's when you get.
Do you know who he
Showtime.
reminds me of? Do you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
It reminds me a bit of Tom Hankey from the Blue Jays in like 92, 93.
Yes. I like that.
The World Series, the World Series teams.
Yeah.
I was young. I was like 7, 8 during that era.
Introduce yourself, Showtime.
Once again, coming from the Vancouver area last night. Reason why we're having this subject, because I just happen to be one of the lucky people that get to see War Games firsthand, and my God, that was it might have not translated on TV, but it was definitely one of the funnest events I've ever been to in the Vancouver area.
Yeah.
And I'm still like got chills from it. I mean, it could have also been the 80 milligrams of edibles I did too, but yeah, my body's got chilled. Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're watching Monday Night Raw.
Probably not.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah.
You got to watch it. You got to get the follow up from the pay-per-view.
That's true.
all the
Well, I'm
follow-ups
actually going to
gonna
probably
be on
watch the paper.
SmackDown, so you don't need to watch Raw.
Yeah. The
That's true.
pay-per-view is a gateway drug.
I might actually watch the pay-per-view later because I did record it. So.
There you go.
This episode of All Effing Wrestling Show is brought to you by all the gateway drugs. Gateway is just the brand name for the drugs.
Yeah. It's brought to you by Gateway Drugs. Gateway Drugs. We get you started. How about this guy below us?
Good morning, everybody. You all know me, Commissioner Joe, commissioner of our prediction league, which, don't be shocked, we actually predicted Survivor Series last night.
Yeah, we did.
To the chagrin of quite a few people, but you know, it is what it is. But also, I am the EVP of everything that is AFW.
Well, we're the All Effing Wrestling League. You know, got to protect all the effing wrestling, right?
Yeah, it's in the name, guys. It's in the name. And we got a couple people backstage wanting to talk to us. The Liquor Bandit. Oh, yeah. Finally, the best wrestling show is on. Yes.
Liquor
we are.
Bandit.
The Liquor Bandit.
Yeah.
That's a new name.
Yeah. I like
this
it.
is someone we know. Isn't this Jay Pagliano?
Maybe.
Pagliaro?
Yeah. We got Noob. He asked how everybody's Thanksgiving was.
No,
Hang on. Hold on 1 second.
But the funny thing was the traditional Thanksgiving wrestling event for WWE didn't happen in Canada or didn't happen in the States this year.
The Canucks just scored on a 2-man advantage. It's now 1-1.
They better score if they got a 2-man advantage. Jeez.
Yeah. That is sad when it's 5-on-3 and you can't get a goal.
I'm not the biggest hockey fan, but I do know usually when you score a goal in a power play, the penalty is cut short and it comes back to full strength. If it's 5-on-3, does it go to 5-on-4 or does it go 5-5?
Yeah, you score.
5-on-4.
You score the power play. Only one is eliminated.
So it goes to 5-on-4 for the remaining time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can score 2 goals potentially on a
2 power play goals. You can't do it.
Except if somebody's got a double minor. So say if you got a 4-minute penalty, you only get one of the 4 minutes or 2 of the 4 docked off. So if there was only say if it's only 3 minutes served, if he's only done 1 minute served, he only gets the 1 minute knocked off and he still has to serve the 2 minutes. But if 2 minutes of that 4 was already served, and there's less than 2 minutes left, then that penalty, that goal will send him back on the ice.
I've never even seen a double minor penalty.
It's very
rare. The guy has to either commit 2 penalties or say if it's a high stick and the guy gets cut from the high stick, that's when a double minor usually happens. And then you get a 5 minute.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. 5-minute misconduct, though, you don't get to go back on the ice. You have to serve the full 5-minute misconduct, though. That happened, no matter if the goal scored or anything.
Yep.
This hockey information session has been brought to you by.
Knowledge is power.
All right.
You gotta have Kevin Nash have his big moment there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
the Canucks just scored again. There you go.
There we go. All right, so let's talk. Noob wanted to know what was going on with how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Canadian Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, the JFB's Thanksgiving.
Now you remember, this is Canadian Thanksgiving Part 2. This time it's personal.
Yeah, this time it's personal. Electric Boogaloo.
No, it should have been Canadian Thanksgiving Part 2, Turkey Boogaloo.
No, I like it. I like it. That's part 3, maybe.
Yeah, I like it. So how was everybody's Thanksgiving?
Mine was good.
Yeah.
Sat at home, cooked the dinner,
Yeah.
Watched the parade, watched football all day. You can't beat an American holiday like that. So,
You want to know how to make the Thanksgiving Day parade at Macy's more interesting to the youth because they had really low viewership? Here's how you do it. Allow the balloons to become sentient and allow them to rampage.
could you imagine real life Super Smash Brothers on the streets of New York?
So JP, I asked. We got some news to talk about?
We do have some news. Let me kick it off with the news. Oh yeah. Wrong one. Where is our news?
That was the news, wasn't it?
That was the news one.
No, I had another one.
Oh, you got a new one?
Oh no, that was the main one.
From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB.
We got some news. Here's the first thing up. Jacob Fatu and Bronson Reed were both injured at Survivor Series. We'll get into the whole rigmarole about Survivor Series, but there are some repercussions or some injuries. People got hurt.
Jacob Fatu was injured too, so there was 3 injuries in that match?
Yeah.
I heard Jimmy broke
his toe.
Yeah. Jimmy.
It's a toe. It's a toe.
You don't need it. They just cut it right off.
Well, I've broken a toe playing carpet hockey in my living room. Okay, so
I saw the
one I want to talk about.
Yeah,
is Bronson Reed.
Yeah,
that jumps off the top of the cage onto that table.
Yeah,
I knew the second he landed, he was injured.
It was just like Edge against Alistair Black in that, Adam Copeland.
Yeah,
Alistair Black. And it's like it was like when I saw that replay was gross, man. Like I saw it slow down. You could see his leg do the little.
Yeah, little fish.
Here's the thing. Adam Copeland, if he would have landed on his belly, he would have been okay. He tried to do the land on the legs.
Yeah,
but for Bronson Reed, it's just this sheer weight. What does he weigh? Like 400 pounds?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Like just that amount of weight coming down. The laws of science just say he's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though. There's no way you could pay me enough money to take a splash through a table from Bronson Reed. I ain't taking it.
No.
At least not from the top of from like the rings. Sure, that's safe. Not from the top of the ropes. Or they
I knew nobody was gonna take that body shot. I knew he was gonna be going through the table by himself. And
had it been CM Punk on that table, he'd be out for another year.
I think career ending for sure.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't come back from that. I mean, no. Raquel Rodriguez actually talked to Sports Illustrated about her skin condition that almost ended her career. Now, those who don't know, when they were over in one of their tours, for a pay-per-view. I think it was Australia. She seemed very puffy. She has an autoimmune disease, and unfortunately, requires a lot of medication, and it almost ended her career. But she says she's got it under control. Of course, she's got her husband, Braun Strowman, to help her out and make sure everything is okay. So, I'm not a huge Raquel Rodriguez fan, but I'm glad that she's able to still be able to wrestle and still be able to go out there and knock it out of the park.
So, autoimmune disease.
Mm-hmm.
The answer to every episode of House.
Yes.
It's autoimmune disease.
It's an
Never
autoimmune
lose
disease. Who watched Collision last night?
Oh, that was great.
Collision. I haven't watched the 1 hour show yet. I haven't watched that yet.
Okay. Well, Juice Robinson's hurt.
Yeah.
Match with Will Ospreay. He is hurt. And was seen on crutches backstage. So we may not see Juice Robinson for a standard amount of time.
Which sucks because he just came back from injury.
Yeah. Just got here, and now he's back on the bench.
That's almost the nature of the business these days, is that the style just is conducive to injuries.
Yeah.
And his last few years, he's been injured quite a bit, though. Like, the injury he just came back from, he was injured not too much prior to that, too. Like, he's going through it a lot.
You know who I blame is Tony Storm. Just letting you know. I blame her. It's a little too rough. Now that she's retired, it's a little too tough. So, what's his name? Pentagon. Penta El Zero Miedo is now officially a free agent. His brother, on the other hand, is not. And Ray Phoenix had a chance to kind of put out all the dirty laundry. He did not. In the latest podcast that he was interviewed on, he did say, hey, you know what? It is what it is. Got to be a gentleman about it. Got to be a good sport. Let it roll. So I'm gonna give a hot take. I think Tony Khan is being petty. I think Tony Khan is being petty.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it.
No intention to use him. He has no intention to let him go. He's just going to keep him in stasis. And that's bullshit.
That's not petty, JFB.
That's petty.
No, it's not. It's called business. You wouldn't allow, if your guy wasn't going to re-sign with your team, you wouldn't allow him to go as a free agent to the next football team.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
No, if you're not a free agent, you wouldn't.
But it's petty, and here's the reason why. You're paying a man to sit down at home and do nothing. That's Eric Bischoff bullshit. That is not Tony Khan. That's Eric Bischoff. That's something Bischoff or Vince McMahon would do because they are petty.
I don't know.
You call it petty, or you can call it not allowing someone to go to the other team.
I mean, it's not like Tony Khan is not allowing this guy to go work indie dates, but I kind of agree. I'm not going to sit here and invest what precious airtime we have in someone who doesn't want to come back to the company.
Yeah. I get it.
Well, that's the thing. Like that's exactly the point. Is would you put him on TV when you have so many other wrestlers to promote?
I let him go.
Yeah, but the problem is he's going to the other company.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen? He's going to get to WWE, him and Penta, and they are going to do squat. They're going to fester in that promotion for years.
Yeah.
And then eventually their contract will come up and they'll go somewhere else.
Okay, so here's the
gimmick. It will be gimmick.
Yeah.
Showtime, I'll give you a chance in a second. Penta, so is he going to show up there in the new year without? No. You don't think they'll sign him to kind of?
Nope. I think he goes to Mexico for a few months until Ray is ready to wrestle.
Because you look at them versus the Motor City Machine Gun, that's good wrestling. What do you think, Shane?
No, he's probably gonna hold off. But man, now I can't even forget what the heck I was just gonna say.
To me, to me, it comes down to this: you can't sit there and let someone not ply their trade to earn a living.
I mean, but Tony Khan isn't. Tony Khan allows people to go work the indies.
Yeah, but he's not going to work the indies.
It happens in sports.
That's on him.
No, exactly.
It happens in sports all the time, though. Hell, like Raiders paying almost $50 million, and then they end up benching Jimmy Garoppolo. No, I'm kidding. This type of stuff happens, and you're not going to let sometimes people go to the other team. You're not going to put them on the free agent market. You make sometimes certain guys a certain value. You have to make them run out the contract. Yes, so it doesn't bite you in the ass in the business sense in the long run. But I see those guys getting wasted. Like as soon as they go to WWE, I see them getting gimmicked to hell. That's like I mean, technically they're a gimmick, but I see their characters being like WWE pushing some kind of nonsense with their characters, and it'll suck.
I mean, I just feel like he needs to. I think he needs to be just let go and let him join his brother and let him go to WWE. Let him find out that the grass is not greener on the other side. They'll be back at AEW in 2 years.
I mean, that's a fair point too.
Yeah.
It all depends on what Triple H is going to do with that tag team division. If you're building on the Motor City Machine Guns with the Lucha Bros, that you know, they go and sign a couple more tag teams. All of a sudden, that tag team division is looking good again.
My feeling is most likely what's going to happen is they're going to saddle the Lucha Brothers with Santos Escobar or some other Latin American team faction, and they're just going to fester and just sit there and not do shit.
Put it like this. This is how bad the men's tag team division is. I saw a short on YouTube the other day. Like, it was one of those, I can name 3 tag teams. I can name blah. Well, this one guy said, I can name 7 WWE tag teams. And the guy listing the 7 did not mention either men's tag team champion in WWE.
Yeah.
That's how bad they're treated.
Yeah.
Apparently, Joe killed WCW.
Oh, yeah. It's a well-known fact. EVP Joe.
Okay, so I think we got a good talking point here. Who's going to replace Juice Robinson in the...
the Continental Classic?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say this. Ricky Starks, I think, would be a really good addition to the Continental Classic.
But once again, I think he falls under that whole Ray conversation. If he's not going to resign, I'm not giving him airtime.
Like I feel like there's a lot not being said from Tony Khan's camp.
Yeah.
That we're not hearing, and Ricky Starks isn't going to voluntarily say it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be painted with a certain brush. So
yeah.
There's a reason why he's not on TV.
Yeah. He's not good. I mean, that's the big reason why he's not on TV. He's not
on the
good.
mic or wrestling.
He's good on the mic. He's horrible in the ring.
You know who I wouldn't mind seeing replace Juice Robinson?
Who?
Will Hobbs. Put that man.
That would be good. Powerhouse Hobbs. I'd take that.
I would say throw his stablemate. What's his name? The leader of the Bullet Club. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Jay White.
Jay White.
Jay White. But he's got this whole main event program going on, so I don't want to derail that.
Yeah.
I think Will Hobbs is a really good choice.
Yeah.
But just for the sake of like coming up with other names, what about say who? Anyone else got any names?
I mean, there was a.
Actually, you want to throw something that's interesting. You got a lot of big guys in there. Leo Rush.
Yeah.
You know what? Leo Rush would be a good replacement for, and just give him the wins that we're going to go to.
Yeah. I like Leo. I mean, I don't like Leo Rush. I think he's a jackass and a half, but he's got a certain panache when it comes to working in the ring, and there's no reason not to just let him rip and run.
You know who I would actually do?
Who?
Max Caster.
I was going to say Bowens.
Bowens would be better.
I don't know, just because they got this story going with that.
Well, that's it. I think if you put Bowens in the tournament, then you have them cast or turn on them out of jealousy.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you can play up that story.
Or I don't know how the brackets work out, but if it's Bowens and Shelton in a tournament match, that's where you pull the trigger and have Caster turn on Bowens and join the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know if they're in the same brackets or not.
I'm writing the email right now currently to Tony Khan.
Did you hear back from AEW yet on your
not yet.
They're a big corporation. They don't work fast. So.
Yeah, and it's the holidays, so they're going to take their time. But I might send another email to them saying, "Hey, da.
You know what you should do to sweeten the pot? Be like, we'll give you copies of we'll show you our podcast and give you great creative ideas that you don't even have to charge for."
Yeah,
there you go. There you go. So Gabe Kidd called out Randy Orton on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. Yeah.
What did he say? Why?
Yeah, he told him, "Tell your boss I want to fight you." Oh, Gabe Kidd. Guess who showed up at TNA's Turning Point pay-per-view? Matt Riddle, and not the guy from Harry Potter, but Mr. 420 himself.
Wouldn't that be a great nickname if he called himself Mr. 420?
Yeah, I'd buy it. I'd buy the shirt that says Mr. 420. I'd buy it like that. Let's talk about Cena. Return is imminent. That's all there is to say. He is coming soon. My expectation is we might very well see him at Raw.
January 6th.
January 6th. Yep. Speaking of January 6th. So, January 6th is, also when we hand over the transition of power from, the senile old man to the senile racist old man. So
no, that's 2 weeks later. January 6th is the House and Senate and all of that.
Yeah.
Where they certify it, but it's not quite a handover yet.
It's transition of power, but it's also it's also the first day of Netflix having WWE. Now, here's what's funny. They already have a class action lawsuit ready to be filed because of the Mike Tyson Logan Paul. They are afraid that they're not going to be able to stream without problems.
Can we talk about this? Because I know I mentioned it and I don't think we really got into it, but I think it's really shitty of people like Triple H to sit there and say, "Oh, if we have 60 million people watching and it's buffering, that's a problem I'm okay with." You're just basically saying, fuck the fan and fuck your experience.
Yeah.
Like, that is, like, the worst thing he could say.
I agree.
Hands down.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's going to be money for me.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh,
this is why I hate.
Don't worry, we'll make it up to you or something like that. If it,
This is the number one reason why I hate streaming services. Is because of these technical problems that happened. And this is Netflix with the Jake Paul Tyson fight. It's not the only one that's been having problems. Amazon with its different sports they've been doing, like football and stuff, they've had problems during theirs. I can't remember another streaming service that tried to attempt to do live sports, and they've been also having problems. It's the internet. Internet gets glitchy. Hell, one of us could have a problem right now doing this podcast as we speak, and I've had random problems. So it's too touch and go. But unfortunately, this is now the future we're going to is these type of services, which is we're going to run into these type problems until they get it perfect.
Yep.
I saw a funny meme today on Facebook. There's someone tweeting. I was like, I can't wait for someone to bundle all of these streaming services together and recreate cable.
I mean, they're pretty close. All right, let's do one more really quickly. O'Shea Jackson, for those who don't know, that's Ice Cube's son. O'Shea Jackson, who is starting a wrestling promotion, by the way, believes that the Death Riders should have jumped Big Boom AJ.
Dude, I would have loved it.
It would have been fantastic.
It would have, I don't really agree much with that side and their creative,
Yeah.
Like people who are very pro WWE and always talk shit to AEW.
Yep.
But this is one thing I could get behind. I think, could you imagine you just have the Death Riders come out the last 5 minutes of the pre-show and just lay waste to everybody?
Yep.
You know you're getting a handful of buys.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
Hell yeah. Who doesn't want to see Big Boom AJ get punched in the face repeatedly by John Moxley? That's the question I want to hear.
Even better, the Rizzler comes in and just cleans house.
I will give Big Boom AJ his props. That man wrestled basically that whole match with a broken foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did an amazing job.
He didn't tell anybody.
Fellow podcaster, Bruce Pritchard, has actually been absent from WWE. There's no timetable for his return, but this is a guy who's got his hands in everything that concerns WWE. So it's going to be interesting. Nobody knows for sure why he's not working. The expectation, I'm sure it's has something to do with a medical issue, but the dirt sheets are not touching this until after Bruce comes out and says, hey, this is the reason why I haven't been working. So
I will give you 2 words.
Yeah.
For why he's not
working.
Brother love.
He's coming back. All right, guys.
The Brother Love show has got to be probably my favorite of my childhood of all the shows.
You know who I would love to see Brother Love manage?
Who?
Ron Breaker.
That would be
Brother Love. Yes. He said he wanted Paul Heyman. Give him Brother Love instead.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the bronze and the red. Perfect.
That's what I'm saying. You get the color contrast.
I like it.
It's like I like the cut of your skin.
All right, guys, that's the end of the news. Let's get to the nitty, the gritty, the meat and potatoes, if you will. Let's get down to the main event.
This is the main event of the evening.
What were you guys doing over the holiday weekend? Shopping, Black Friday, going somewhere to eat on Saturday, leftovers. What are you doing? Well, the 4 of us actually did something cool. We all watched the Survivor Series. One of us, the guy who just left, actually went there, high on vitamins, and he was there.
No, the other thing I find interesting about this pay-per-view is it's traditionally known as a Thanksgiving pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And for the first time, it's out of Canada, and they're advertising Canada, which does not celebrate Thanksgiving at this time of the year.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird.
It was weird, yeah. And it's, and obviously, I mean, the success of the Vancouver show obviously bled into the March pay-per-view, a PLE of Elimination Chamber. Yeah, so that's going to be in Toronto.
So it's my understanding that for pay-per-views, I don't know about the other bigger pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Probably, is that someone buys the rights to have this in their city.
Yep.
And then they get the income.
Yep.
From the tickets.
Yeah, they get a percentage. The biggest gift that they get is the tourism. They get a massive tax break. They get all this money from the people who show up for the event. So it's a pretty
my understanding is that whoever buys this and pays for it, they're getting the WWE's already been paid their amount of money they're getting.
Yeah,
and you get the full tickets.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I mean, a lot of money was definitely spent because they rented part of BC Place, which isn't cheap, just to do a WWE store. Yeah. And that was pretty big. It was literally almost like a full size, like going to a retail, like a Winner. I wouldn't say quite a Winners, but close to a store like that for clothing. It was insane. And half of it was just actual Survivor Series stamped stuff itself, besides merchandise of a lot of the other wrestlers and
Did
stuff
you
like that.
see the Space Needle shirt for the Canucks?
Yeah. Oh, no. You know what? I couldn't find it when I got there. So I guess maybe word got around either A, that people
must have
bought
pulled
them out, or B, WWE grabbed them and yanked them. I don't know. I didn't see them there unless was kind of spaced out while I was.
We'll know in 6 months if we see the shirts like on the little kids in Africa.
Well, I made that joke actually. I actually did.
Well, you know, they do print shirts. So what we're referencing is in the case of like the Super Bowl or the.
Well, yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of 2024 Super Bowl 49ers shirts that went to Africa already.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the winning team gets to sell their shirts. The losing team, the company eats it and sends it to Africa as a charity, which they can write off, I'm sure. So let's get to what we're talking about. We're talking about Survivor Series, War Games. And we're going to talk about the show. So I want to open with the first match. And that is the women's War Games that happened. Now, you had Team Rhea, you had Team Liv. Those were your respective captains. Here's how the order went in their entrance into the arena. Bayley opened it up, and then Nia Jax followed up. They were the first two entrants. Then Naomi and Candice LeRae came in. Bianca Belair, and it's Tiffy time. You got Io Sky and Raquel came in, and then the last ones, of course, is your team captains. Liv Morgan, your Raw Women's Champion, and Rhea Ripley, not the Raw Women's Champion, decided to go to battle against each other. Ken and Dry, your thoughts on the opening match, the Women's War Games?
So here's my whole thoughts on this. I didn't enjoy that match at all.
Really?
I thought it was, the problem is when the War Games match is special.
Yeah.
And when you have two of them, it becomes less special.
Okay.
So, I don't think the women should be having one at all. I think they should, and they threw it together. There's no storyline. Yeah. There's no blood feud. And I think it's watered down. And I think, you got the chair shot. Mr. Joe mentioned the chair shots from Nia. They were like,
yeah,
it was worse than the Hulk Hogan ones. You're right. And the top spot from Io Sky with the trash can on her.
Yeah.
Made zero sense. You're telling me you're risking your health and your safety, putting a trash can on your body, going blind, dropping off the top of the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Makes zero sense. You could have held it and drop on it. That makes zero sense.
Yeah. Okay. Shane.
Being there. Actually, first thing I want to quickly top on when you mentioned the tourism fact. There was a family of 6, including a mother that was probably in their 70s. They were obviously from Montreal because they're speaking French the whole time. And actually the one woman there, the wife of the guy, she was right when it started and the cage was coming down for the first to start the women's match.
Yeah.
She was in tears. You could just tell that and the husband's holding her close, and it's that. And the moment that cage came down, man, I was almost I just felt intensity. But in a lot of ways, I do agree with Canada Dry. It shouldn't be every year for the women's. Maybe do an odd one. I miss having an actual Survivor Series match. Maybe that's where they should have actually did was a traditional 4-on-4 elimination match with the women.
Yeah.
But,
sense.
But at the same time, didn't have what helped having this woman War Games match was having that moment when Tiffany had the briefcase and you had both champions down on the ground with her making that decision. Oh, which champion should I go for? That was kind of a cool moment.
Yeah.
And then and then it all got screwed up with EO spraying everybody with the fire extinguisher or whatever. But yeah, as much as I had like that was a fun match for me, it could maybe not be a regular thing with the women every year. But I mean, I had a great time with that match, and for storyline reasons, the right team won. Rhea being able to get Liv with her move onto the table, yeah, that all made sense.
Okay. Joe.
I'm gonna sound like I hated this match. It was clunky. It was slow. Commentary sucked.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like
I didn't get to hear any of that though. So yeah.
Corey Graves saying, "Oh, EU Sky climbing up to the cage with a trash can. That's unique." No, it's not, Corey.
She did last year.
She's done it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
She did it in NXT. She did it last year. She did it this year. Nia Jax sucks with her wrestling. She is not improved at all. But here's my biggest question. If let's say Tiffany cashed in, does that supersede the War Games? Does that end the match? And then when the 1, 2, 3 is called, do they go back?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does.
Like,
unless the match hasn't started yet. See, it makes zero sense. It makes zero sense, this whole thing.
Yeah. And then my final complaint about this is I am so sick and tired of Rhea Ripley. Sick and tired of seeing
her mask was nice.
Every damn thing. Get her away from the title scene. Let her go deal with your drama somewhere. I'm so sick of it. It's boring. It's been Rhea and Liv for like a year and a half now. And there's other women on this roster who could fucking do shit.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
ended it.
I gotta say, Joe, you complain like a grumpy old man. I love it. I just love the way
because look, there's a reason why I don't watch WWE TV on the regular. It is the exact same show every goddamn week.
Gosh darn week.
We're 42 minutes in. Yes, sorry. My apologies. I should not take the Lord's name in vain. But it is. I literally feel like I just waste time watching the show because it's the same thing week in, week out. I don't need to watch it.
I don't know what match you guys were watching. I actually enjoyed it. Storyline wise, there were a lot of issues. You had way too many. Like you have Liv Morgan versus Rhea and also Io Sky because she's the next in line. You had Trinity, which was or Naomi, which was kind of a throw in at that point. Bayley was a throw in at that point. Like there was things that didn't necessarily make sense. Yeah, I agree. The Io Sky jump has been used multiple times. We could have done without, but that's the thing with War Games and with a cage matches, you're going to get those high spots. And none of those, Jackson's are going to climb up there and start doing swanton dives off the top of the cage. It's not going to
Bronson Reed.
If Bronson Reed can do it, why can't Nia?
Because Bronson Reed's a good wrestler. Nia Jackson's not.
Yeah, JP. Now, would you do Shane's suggestion and do a traditional Survivor Series?
I would have. Yeah, I would have done a traditional 5-on-5.
I'm with you on that, Shane. I do miss the traditional Survivor Series match. Yeah.
I've always wanted to see that. Besides the cage match, I've always wanted to see that in person too. The traditional.
It's just Survivor Series in name only.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's War Games. Essentially what we watched.
And then do a proper War Games. Put a roof on it. No pins. I hate the fact that there's pins in War Games.
Yeah.
That was never the case.
And I don't like that little elevator cage they're in.
The shark cage that keeps them all in there?
Well, at least if you're going to do it, put it above the ground and lower it. I don't know.
There you go. I overall I thought it was good. The Team Rhea won. I thought Rhea's mask was really cool. It reminded me of the Great Buddha. It was really good. When she took it off in the black, and obviously the big scar obviously was where she's injured, and so that way nobody will punch the scar and possibly break her orbital bone even worse. So my only issue was the women had 5 minutes between contestants coming in. There was a 5-minute timer. The men were not 5 minutes. They were about 2.5 minutes. It didn't make sense. I understand you want to give.
I thought it was just after the first two start for 5 minutes, then it went to 3 minutes. I thought that.
Yeah, I thought it was 3 minutes after.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
maybe it is. I didn't pay attention. So, but overall, I thought the match was decent. I don't like Tiffany Stratton with the Money in the Bank. Either cash it in or don't. She should never have won if she's not going to cash it in. The length of time they're taking, we know she's going to turn on Nia. What she's not going to go after Liv Morgan. She's going to go after Nia Jax. Just do it.
Have we beat this first match to death? Should we move on?
Yeah, we've. Hold on.
Put it out.
Right. We old yell at it.
Yeah, we old yell at it.
Hold on, it's still alive. I'm just badly burned. You remember that, Austin Powers?
Yep. Let's go to our second match of the night. It's LA Knight. LA Knight. He's taking on Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Now, Canada Dry, you go first. Your thoughts on this match?
The match was, for what it was fairly short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually.
And I'm struggling to see. It almost feels like a title change.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of it, because you have to do it on a big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And I see like maybe Nakamura losing it again.
Yeah.
And Knight winning it back. I don't see anything good coming for Nakamura out of this.
Yeah.
The match was decent, but it was too short.
Yeah. I agree. Shane.
Absolutely was a rush match. And man, the moment Nakamura won, the building, everybody was shocked. I mean, as much as I wanted Nakamura to win, I didn't think he was going to win. The way LA Knight's got the hype right now and stuff, like the building was utterly shocked.
Yeah.
Nakamura won.
Yeah.
But I see this, the reason why is because don't forget, Nakamura's been kept off TV. It's kind of been vocal. He's been off TV for a while. Yeah. Now we got this brand new character. I think this is maybe Triple H's way to work things out with Nakamura, and this might be a new character push, and he's going to have that title for a while. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe there might be changes to that title. Sorry, what's that, Joe?
Let me ask you, Showtime. Do you think he's going to hold this for a while?
I think so, and he might even customize the title too. I could see that possibly happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe.
Yeah, like the match was fine. I just felt way too short.
Yeah.
I feel like I blinked and it was over. Now that said, I loved Nakamura's gear that he wore to the ring. He was badass. I hate his music. I love like the original theme and the remix, but this one, like, it just never has that hook that gets me like pumped.
Yeah.
That his old music theme does.
Yeah.
And that made me sad because I love the violin in that song.
I think they're really going for a Japanese warrior type with this theme because I got to listen to it again. I watched it quickly again this morning, and it just with the whistles and all that stuff like that, like it felt like they were trying to go with a warrior kind of theme with matching the gear. Theme to match the gear, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Here's my thing. I felt like the match. I agree with you guys. The match was very short. I think it should have been a lot longer, but at the same time, it's a 2-week buildup. You know, I mean, it was 2 weeks ago that Shinsuke came out and attacked LA Knight, and now we have this match at War Games. Really didn't make a lot of sense, personally.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Overall, I thought it was a good match. Here's the thing. Nakamura's a heel, and that violin intro from when he first came to WWE, that's his face. If you're going to be heel with the paint on your face and that decaying look, you got to have a badass entrance.
Well, they did change it when he turned heel the first time.
Yeah.
And I liked that because it still has that hook and that, like, everything that I love about it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it doesn't fit his character. I'm just saying I want his old music back is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than the rap. When they had the rap version, that was pretty bad.
Yeah. I think it's a smart move by Triple H. I think Hunter did a really good job at giving Shinsuke the U.S. heavyweight title, because I think the problem is LA Knight is so over right now.
Yeah.
He's eclipsed that belt. He's not. That belt didn't make him. He didn't make the belt. It just felt like kind of a stupid thing to throw that belt on him because you weren't sure whether or not he could carry a title. Come on.
Now, where do you go with LA Knight from here now?
You put him in the main event. Make him a champ. Make him an
What
Intercontinental.
champ?
Make him the IC, or make him or have him go after. The
only way is if he switches over to Raw and beats Gunther.
I mean, at this point, do they really have
you can't really have him go heel and go against Cody.
No.
No, I mean, Cody's got the Rock at Mania.
Yeah. But I think for me, I want to see Shinsuke actually defend this belt at Pro Wrestling Noah in January.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's where I want to see it defended. Because he's going to be at their year-end show, and he is wrestling. It is confirmed. And so give him the U.S. title and let him defend it overseas. Because if you're going to establish, AEW has New Japan and has CMLL and Stardom and all that stuff. The WWE doesn't have really a working relationship with anybody outside of TNA. What a great idea and a great chance to showcase and get a working bond with Pro Wrestling Noah. I think would be freaking amazing. I'd love to see him defend the title at the Noah show. That's just
that makes sense. That absolutely makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So let's go to our third match of the night. Tonight, the third match is for the Intercontinental Championship, a belt once held by Bret Hart, a belt held by Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, the Miz, Jericho. It's all
Mr. Perfect and the Honky Tonk Man.
And a Honky Tonk Man and Gunther, who held it for 666 days.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Today, it's run and owned by Braun Breaker. He takes on Ludwig.
Bronze Breaker.
Yeah, Bronze Breaker. Yeah. He's taking on Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus in a triple threat match for the IC title. Canada, you go first. Thoughts on the IC match?
I thought this was a good match. I enjoyed it, but I felt like the stuff on Monday Night Raw, they gave away too much stuff for free leading up to the PLE.
Yeah.
And so it felt less special because we had these two matches already on Raw.
Yeah.
Had they kept them away from each other and just interfering in other matches, it would have been a little bit better. But overall, it was a good match. I didn't suspend disbelief because I knew Braun Breaker was winning.
Yeah.
Sheamus has still got it going on.
Yeah.
Ludwig Kaiser, he's showing some promise, but for me, he still doesn't do it. He needs something to put him over the edge. I don't know what else. Maybe turning on Gunther.
Yeah. I agree with that. Showtime. Hit it.
All right, so here's the disadvantage when you go to a War Games event. You're sitting by the entrance, and it's a double-sided ring. Because this match happened to take place on the other side of the ring by the commentary desk. So my view was really restricted. Not only was it restricted, looking up at the Jumbotron while they had some of their metal scaffolding stuff holding the lights. So my Jumbotron was restricted. So I
lost your $100 tickets. Obstructed view.
It's the nature of the beast sometimes, right? But from what part and unfortunately, I tried to watch as much as possible. I fell asleep when I was watching the replay again last night. But I from the parts I saw, it was kind of a fun match. I did happen to be able to see Sheamus. I kind of knew what was happening when what's his face Kaiser was backing up into the corner of the security railings, and then next thing you know, Sheamus just appears and then just starts doing the thunder shots to the chest. That was pretty cool and stuff for that. But all in all, no, I'd say it was a fun match for those three guys. They're all brute guys. They all hit hard, and it was
Yeah.
yeah.
Joe.
I love this match. It was just action nonstop. It was great.
Yeah.
I honestly, there was part of me where I thought that Ludwig Kaiser was going to win the title. I was like, because I was sitting there thinking, it's like it would be really cool to see Gunther with the World Heavyweight title, Kaiser with the Intercontinental title, like standing shoulder to shoulder. Because like I said, I don't watch Raw weekly. I keep up with through social media, and I kind of know the story is Gunther has told Kaiser, "You need to go do this on your own. Go be a man." Type story.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been really cool for them to come back, like tomorrow night on Raw, start the show walking out with all the gold. But with that said, I'm a Braun guy, so I'm very happy that he retained.
Now, do you believe in the Ludwig Kaiser character, or do you think he needs something?
I don't know, because like I said, I don't watch enough Raw to really have an opinion on it. Do I think? Yes, I think he needs something, because I think he's been role casted to being, for lack of a better term, Gunther's hype man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or Gunther's bitch.
Yeah.
But I'd say what he's got now, but just a little tweak, not something changed like they did with Giovanni or whatever. Not completely wish-wash, but just a little tweak to the Kaiser character. Yeah.
I will say it was very shocking for me to see Ludwig Kaiser use that shillelagh, because him and Gunther have always been, we honor the mat. It is pure. It is, we wrestle. We are gentlemen. We are wrestlers wrestle. Not this, lack of a better term, bullcrap where you're bringing in foreign objects.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe that's something that could play off of these two going forward. I don't know.
Maybe Gunther gets some shit for it.
Yeah, because you saw, we'll talk about it next, but you saw how Gunther reacted to Finn interfering in his match. He didn't have any of it.
Yeah. I love this match. It was the match I wanted, which was Sheamus and Braun Breaker basically beating the ever-living hell out of each other, and then Ludwig Kaiser would just come in and out occasionally to do this. You know, you had two big, burly guys just slapping the crap out of each other. It was awesome. I mean, I picked Braun Breaker to win in our predictions, but the sentimental aspect of me really wanted to see Sheamus get his due and get the Grand Slam. It's the only belt he's missing. And really, at this point, I don't think you guys are setting him up at any time to win it, which is a shame, because this guy is not going to be wrestling full time for much longer. He's going to become a part-time performer, and then you can't put a belt on him because people are going to hate it. But I don't like Kaiser. I'm not a big fan of Ludwig Kaiser. I think he's, I don't know, there's just something about him that just doesn't hit.
That's what I feel like. He needs, he needs something. He needs some sort of gimmick. Like he's just Braun Breaker light.
Yep, exactly. Or
not Braun Breaker, like Gunther lights, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of Gunther, let's go to our second to last match. It is for the Raw World's Heavyweight Championship. We're talking about the 192-day reign of Gunther taking on former El Champion, Damian Priest. Canada, you go first. Your thoughts on the World Heavyweight title?
Yeah, this was a good match. In no way, again, did I suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
And think that Priest was going to win.
Yeah.
you had Finn Balor come in there and disrupt the match and cost him. As Joe said, he Gunther came in and didn't like it, but to me it felt weird because they haven't been interacting at all on Raw or SmackDown or anything, and now all of a sudden they started up again.
Yeah,
like it felt like it was dead, and now they're bringing it back to life. I was like, that story has seemed like it needed to die, and I thought it was dead, and now they're resurrecting it. I think it was a good match, but I question the story to keep going like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showtime.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid match. Like, I'm glad to finally get to see a Gunther match in person. That's kind of been what on my list. I wasn't expecting the Finn Balor ran it. It was pretty funny just to see him because I got to see him just kind of walk from the entrance. That did this sprint around the security railing from the one section of the floor seats, and then come around, and so that was kind of fun to watch. That actually him setting that whole stick up to jump over. So apparently too, there was backstage footage. Judgment Day ended up jumping to Jamie and Priest backstage later on, I guess, shortly after that match or whatever.
Yep.
The part of the storyline. So that's, I guess, they're gonna rehash Damian Priest with Judgment Day more. So we'll see where that goes on. But that's kind of when we're talking about getting old stories. Yeah, that is another story that's kind of rehashing same old shit over and over again.
Yeah.
And it was just pretty much just to use Judgment Day since they're in catering all day for the PLE, just to do some backstage footage shots with them or whatever. So,
yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know, but the match itself was good.
Joe.
Yeah, the match was fine. I mean, I don't know. I think I kind of wanted to see a little bit more from these two.
Yeah.
Just because, like, Gunther doesn't usually get the big match on pay-per-view or PLE. He's usually the Raw after guy.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted something like, I think my problem with this whole pay-per-view is, like, there's nothing really memorable. It's not a must-see show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everything was fine to solid, but there's nothing that's like, oh, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Again, I don't know what that match was freaking incredible. I think that you really got to see how good Damian Priest really is. Like, when I questioned putting the belt on him, and as he progressed as a champion, it grew on me. But I've liked Damian Priest. I liked him when he was Punishment Martinez. So I know this guy can go. And Gunther can go. And I thought these guys, but I think they told an amazing story. Now, I will temper this excitement by saying I don't like the Finn Balor story. I don't like the Judgment Day story. Get it done and finished now. I think the problem with Triple H is he doesn't know what to do with Damian Priest. Outside of being in a faction, he doesn't have... does he go back to the Archer persona? I don't know. But you got to do something with Damian Priest. And I think keeping him in the main event, I would love to see him go after Seth Rollins. I think him and Seth Rollins could have an amazing series of matches.
Yeah.
Get them in there. Don't waste Damian Priest time, but you got to do something to make Gunther look like a pure champ. I think right now he just looks like a paper champ.
I think they're going to probably be setting up a Gunther and Finn Balor possible feud with Gunther kind of more going off the face look.
Let him.
But that doesn't do anything because as much as I love Finn Balor, he's not taken seriously. He's just there.
But they'll hype him up as a former world champion, stuff for that. That's the kind of build it. You're going to give him
world champion.
I know. Unfortunately.
I think this is the issue when you're dealing with WWE and how they book their champions. You don't have a credible champion. You don't have a credible contender for Cody.
Nope.
And you don't have one for Gunther. with the exception of Damian Priest. But you got to build that story. Like that should have taken some time, you know. But yeah, I mean, I thought this match was just. I thought they told an amazing story throughout that entire match. The Damian Priest can't lift him up because of his shoulders. The choke out looked legit. Like he looked like he was going to squeeze the life out of him.
He used
the one-
Damien's own arm to help choke him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Now,
cool.
what I really liked and where I did suspend disbelief was when the end of the match where Priest is asking the ref to give him a minute.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, maybe he's really injured.
Yeah.
And he's going to check on the other guy, and then Finn Balor comes in. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah. It was brilliant. They did an amazing job telling the story. Let's get to our main event. It's the Bloodline War Games. You have the OG Bloodline. You have the new Bloodline. Here's the order of which they arrived into the ring. Tama Tonga starts off. Well, I don't know. Tama Tonga just starts crawling around the cage.
Don't take this wrongly. Like I just felt like he was like a spider monkey, just fucking going crazy around the ring.
Yeah, you reminded me of a capuchin. It was hilarious. Jey Uso comes in, and he's the first for the OGs.
Well, that was huge.
Yeah, then we got Bronson Reed and Jimmy Uso. We get Jacob Fatu. He comes in, and Sami Zayn comes in third. Number 4, we got Tagaloa and CM Punk. And then you have Solo and Roman Reigns. The match begins. Canada Dry. Give us your thoughts on the main event.
All right, so we had an interesting thing right off the bat. We had Jey Uso coming out last.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that is just like, this is like, I don't know if this is like a consolation prize to say that he's important or whatever, or if this is just who's starting the match.
I gotta say this: you aren't the only one who mentioned it.
Yeah, I was confused at first, and then it made sense when he went straight to the cage. I go, that's why. Okay, because I would have thought Roman Reigns would have got the final entrance.
Yeah,
right. So
the match was good, but you had one problem. It's like for two teams that are called Bloodline, you have no blood. How do you have a War Games match with two teams called Bloodline and 0 blood?
Yeah.
This is a PLE War Games. Not one person's skin is punctured. I find that ridiculous.
Yeah. I agree. Showtime.
Well, it pop they got was amazing. I say he probably got the biggest pop. His entrance got a bigger pop than Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns got a pretty big pop.
Yeah.
So it just shows how over Jey Uso is now. Like, man, that was intense. Everybody in the crowd had their hands in the air doing the match itself was great. A lot of storytelling there. Because I had the perfect role. I was not far from where the shark cages were. To see Roman Reigns sticking his arm out to stop CM Punk from going out and stuff like that. I was like, that gave me a sense that, something bad's going to happen between them. Then they story told during the match where it almost looked like they were going to come to blows a few times.
Yeah.
And then finally it was like, you know what? Let's cut the shit. Let's do this together or whatever. Especially when CM Punk made the save with Roman Reigns, pulling Roman Reigns off the table. Or even the first time when Roman and CM Punk were going to shake hands, and then I think with Jacob Fatu suckered Roman Reigns and stuff like that. But that match was a blast.
Yeah.
And to be there in person, as much as I shit on the WWE the past few years, but just to be at a special match like that, it was special. And then yeah, I can see it was just intensity all the way through, and you could feel the intensity. Fortunately, it sounded like from what I've heard, like yeah, it did not translate on TV wise though, for as far as the crowd, which sucks. So I don't know why it didn't sound like it didn't pop. Maybe it was just because of the setup again with the double rings and stuff for that, and maybe the mic quality. But it was popping in that building the whole time. Everybody was into it. Everybody kept standing up. So
All right, Joe.
So you talked about Jay and Roman's entrance. I want to talk about Punk's lack of a pop on that entrance. That crowd was quiet as fuck.
I was going like that. I was right there swearing.
But yeah, this match is the prime example of why the heel should always have the advantage in a war games.
Mm-hmm.
The good guy should never have the advantage.
Yep.
It does not serve the narrative of this kind of match.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, like I forget what I was going to say. Oh, I like the fact that there wasn't 50 million ring things thrown into this ring. Just let the brutality of the ring do the work for you.
Yep.
Yes, I will say, I imagine I'm curious as to when we get this Punk heel turn, because it just feels like it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, me personally, I thought that this match was really good, but I felt like the ending was so anticlimactic. It made no sense.
Oh yeah.
You took the heel faction and you basically neutered them. And I get it. It's Roman. It's Jimmy and Jay. They might be coming back. Sami Zayn's involved in the UFC and Punk. But you can't have a viable opponent for the original bloodline when you saddle the new guys with a loss. It hurt Solo, and it hurt Jacob Fatu. I don't give a rat's ass about the Tongans. I just don't. And I don't care about Bronson Reed because he's not, he's just hired gun at this point. But you neutered Solo Sikoa and you neutered Jacob Fatu. And the problem with doing that to Jacob Fatu is Jacob Fatu, outside of being just a hair batshit crazy, just a hair, okay? This guy is the future of WWE. You want a viable opponent for Cody Rhodes. You want a viable opponent for Gunther. You want a viable opponent for the IC title. It's Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
This guy is a wrestling phenom. The way he apparently Jacob Fatu is at your house. He's the werewolf of.
Personally, I think this match did more harm to Solo than it did Jacob, because this, you could easily do a story of Jacob being like, you know what, you were supposed to lead us to the promised land and you failed miserably.
Yeah,
but Solo, that man just ate everybody's finisher and looked like a complete chump.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now can you not? And I don't know, because they're pre-taped, right? Raw.
I don't know. I don't know. I think both of them are live this week. The next ones that'll be taped are at the end of December for Christmas.
So you could come tomorrow night and have Solo just devastate a bunch of them, because that's the only way you can still save this, because Solo did take a beating and he did take an embarrassment, but you can still save this. Like, it's not Wade Barrett and the Nexus quite yet.
Yeah.
No, people were kind of messed up. It almost looked like Roman, like he kind of posed like he had his arms out to kind of like give forgiveness, the moment of weakness towards Solo right before they all beat the crap out of him. Yeah. So it kind of almost looked like they were getting set up that way, like, oh, hey, welcome back to the family. But then it's like, no, I'm too late.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I'm not a big fan of Solo Sikoa. I think that he's got some upside, but he's got way more downside. The guy's just not charismatic. He just doesn't put butts in seats. Jacob Fatu, on the other hand, that guy's a maniac. I would follow that man to the depths of hell if it meant I got to watch him go in a cage again and beat the crap out of somebody for a belt. I'd do it.
Do you think we're going to get Roman and Solo at Saturday night's main event?
Yeah.
I don't think Saturday night's main event. No.
Because of Cody?
No, I just think that it's going to be a pay-per-view setup.
But when?
That story's going to come out and probably. I think
there's no pay-per-view until February.
I think it's too soon to pull the trigger on that. I think that's.
What do you mean too soon? It's been almost 6 months as it is.
For Punk and
no. I'm talking about Roman and Solo, not Punk.
Oh, I thought you know Punk and okay.
No. So I think Punk isn't until at least summertime of next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Battle of the Paul Heyman guys. And it's going to be when Roman's got a belt.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Guess what? We're at the end of the show.
Yeah, the other thing I want to mention is that part about where they started and they were doing the USO Penitentiary University or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was great, except CM Punk dropped the ball.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't go with the theme.
Yep.
And it was that part felt a little like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it how I want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Punk is not happy.
But that's CM Punk, though. Like, he's always done that. They've made it very clear on commentary that Punk is going to do only what benefits Punk when Punk wants to do it.
Yep.
And maybe that's part of the story is that Punk's a selfish dick and people are sick of it.
Yeah, because when they did the pose, Punk perfectly at the end slid his shoulders through the middle of the guys, then did a thing. But he perfectly went out of his way to shimmy through the crowd to push himself through, then do the pose or whatever.
Yep.
So
it's exactly what you guys are seeing.
So let's do the flower shop.
Yeah, let's do the flower shop. The flower shop today is brought to you by one man and one man only. He created the flower shop. We're talking about Adrian Adonis. Now, if you want to get your Adrian Adonis gear support the AFW network, there's only one place to do it. You could be lazy and go down below and clickety-clack on the link. Or you could, in fact, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Adrian Adonis, where you can get all of your Adrian Adonis gear. Favorite match, number of bells, and to spice up things a little bit, what's your favorite Thanksgiving part? What's your favorite part of Thanksgiving?
What about instead of that? What are you thankful for?
Yeah, I like that. What are you thankful for? Can't try. You go first.
I'm gonna go match of the night. I'm gonna go with the War Games match.
Yeah.
Just because it was the main event, it was the spectacle. I guess there's not really segments in this, so
no, not really.
We'll go with this. Your second match of the night would be. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Intercontinental title match.
Okay,
that was great, and something I'm thankful for is friends and family and the AFW network. And I'm going to give this pay-per-view, this PLE, if you will, we're going to give this 3.5.
Okay, 3.5, not bad. Showtime.
Obviously the men's got it is number one. The second one, I'm going to have to give it to Nakamura because just how much it's stunned the building, which I can imagine it's done. If it's stunned the building, it definitely stunned the viewers that he was going to win and then lose it like that. That's what title changes are supposed to do to you. You're not supposed to expect them to happen.
Yep.
And that one definitely nobody expected that to happen. Well, I mean, there was probably a few big ones that called it, but nobody expected that one to happen.
Yeah.
So that for that factor, it's definitely the second on my list. And for bells, just because maybe I was there, especially where I was seated, and I got to see the whole final pose down in front of the entrance and stuff like that from feet away. I'm gonna have to give it a 4.
Okay.
And then thankful. I'm thankful for all these great sporting events that would be possible to be able to attend and stuff like that. Like I'm really thankful I got to be at War Games last night in person. That's definitely probably up there in my top 5 sporting events.
That's your bucket list. You can cross it off.
Yeah, it's just to be at something like that and any type of big sporting event, it's just big 5 deals, man. And it's something as a sports fan, it's hard to replicate. You just feel it. If you're a true sports fan and you love big events, it's just something you just feel inside when you go to these type of events and vibes. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that, being having the opportunity to be able to do such things.
There we go. Joe.
Yeah, so my match of the night is the Intercontinental Triple Threat match. Loved it. My second match of the night is the Men's War Games match. I'm giving this 3.5. That's usually the bare minimum I'm going to give a wrestling match. You have to really try to suck for me to give you a lower grade than that.
Yeah.
So, and then
if we ever did a Raw show.
Oh yeah, dude. I've told you the story. I quit watching Raw cold turkey because I watched Raw one night and said I just wasted 3 hours of my life, and I never watched Raw all the way through ever again. But I am thankful for, honestly, just Canada Dry, friends, family, health, and the community, especially the community we have here in AFW. No matter how much we fight, we still support each other. We all get along. And it's really nice to have people, because I don't really have anyone in life I can legitimately talk to about wrestling.
Yeah.
So this has been like a godsend, this community. So I thank you all. I love you all. I really appreciate it.
All right. My favorite match of the night was Gunther and Damian Priest. That match was just freaking phenomenal. And for something that was so short in trying to get to that match, they told an amazing story. I think Damian Priest looked amazing, and I think Gunther looked even better. My second favorite match tonight, Men's War Games. I didn't like the ending. I thought, you had Lance Anoa'a and you had Hikuleo, both signed. One of those guys should have came down and interfered to not make the bad guys look that weak. But I'm gonna give it 4 bells. I really enjoyed this. I liked it from everything. To me, it was one of the better WWE pay-per-views in a really long time, and that's saying a lot.
We say PLE here.
PLE. Things I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for a multitude of things. My health. I'm thankful for being able to help and do things for people. But I'm thankful for my person, Jess. I love her with all my heart. It's amazing, and it's awesome that I have someone in my life that allows me to be me and understands me. But I also love my AFW family, and it all is about the people that tune in live. It's about the people that watch afterwards on YouTube. You guys are the reasons why we keep doing what we're doing. To be honest, we still do this whether people watch us or not, because it's just 4 guys that get the chance to just talk about wrestling. But every single person that watches and joins and click like and subscribe, you are the heroes. And then Noob gave it 4 out of 5, which is pretty good.
So what is our score? Was it 3.75?
Yep, that's our aggregate.
Yeah.
I did math. I did it.
You did math. Yeah.
I didn't even need the calculator for that one.
That's how easy the score was that we gave it this. I could do it.
You didn't do no 3.47, so yeah, it helps.
Guys, thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sunday morning. On behalf of Canada Dry, on behalf of Showtime Shane, on behalf of Commissioner Joe, I am You're JFB.
Raise your fist in the air. Put the devil in a sharpshooter. And just keep fighting.
Yeah.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it. Survive!